Hey guys, what's up? Rob Kolb, your Toledo area public adjuster, making claims great again. And today's topic is ACV versus RCV. So first off, let's define what those terms mean. So ACV means actual cash value, and RCV means replacement cost value. So, that's something that's very, very important to know, especially if you guys are maybe just getting into the insurance restoration world, or you're a roofer or somebody and you're trying to get into this situation. Let me tell you what I so often see for especially greenhorns in this industry. So let's say, how do you guys get your sales leads? So very common thing is to use let's use canvassing in this particular situation. You're canvassing, okay, and you've trained your canvassers to find houses with missing shingles, okay, because that way when you go and you knock on the door, you know that this lead already potentially qualifies for an insurance claim because they have missing shingles. Okay, so let's say you knock on the door, you tell the customer what you do, they agree to it, and part of your pitch is, all this is going to cost you is your insurance deductible. That's the only thing you're going to have to pay out of your pocket. So great, they sign your contract, they decide to move forward with it, and they make a claim, and let's say a week later now, you get an insurance adjuster out to the house. And as the contractor, maybe you're present, you're kind of presenting your findings, your damages, and maybe you're doing a little bit of negotiating with the insurance adjuster. And let's say he, after he gets done with his inspection, he says, well, I agree with you, this is a wind damage up here, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to replace the roof. However, this person's insurance policy happens to be a ACV policy, an actual cash value policy. So what does that mean? Well, I'll tell you what it means. Let's use an easy round number to do this math off. So let's say, for example, the house was the replacement cost of this roof in this scenario would have been $10,000. Okay, now let's say that the roof is 20 years old. Okay, so let's say that now the insurance company, since it's ACV, they're going to take into consideration depreciation. So, and they have a formula they follow, but let's keep it easy here. So let's say they depreciate the roof by $3,000. Okay, and then on top of that $3,000, the client has a $1,000 deductible. So now they've taken $4,000 away from the amount of this claim. So again, let's say that it was $10,000, and they took away the $3,000 for ACV, they deducted $1,000 for the deductible. Now you're down to $6,000. For those of you that are not super proficient with Xactimate and building codes, and you're not excellent high-grade estimators, I found out that a real common margin in this industry for roofing in this particular area was right around 40%, right in that general area. Well, the math we just talked about, it went from 10,000 to 6,000, so you just lost 40%. So now you're in a situation where, I don't know, maybe you do the job, maybe you don't, but your profit margin on it now is zero. Now, let's take this claim another step further. Because believe me guys, the insurance world is a crazy world. There's a lot of X factors, there's a lot of shit that happens, okay? So now let's add to the complexity of this particular case. So let's say now they don't have law and ordinance coverage on their house. And let's say, for example, this happens to be a ranch home with 3-foot overhangs. No law and ordinance. So now they're not going to pay for ice and water shield. Being that this house is 3-foot overhangs, now you have to double up. Instead of putting one 3-foot run of ice and water shield on the eave, now you got to put 2 to comply with what the building codes are in this area. So 2 runs of ice and water shield all the way around this house. So now maybe you're talking about another $1,200. Ice and water shield, runs up quickly. So now you're underwater $1,200 on this job. Let me tell you something. When your whole pitch to these clients was, all you have to pay on this deal is $1,000 as your deductible, that's your only audit cost. They do not take it well when that's not the case. So when you come back to them and say, well, it was actual cash value and you had $1,000 deductible and you didn't have law and ordinance, so they didn't pay for that cost, not a fun conversation, guys. Not a fun conversation. It's a good way to tarnish your name. Maybe you walk away from the job, or maybe the customer is no longer interested. It's a good way to set up a bad name for yourself. So important that you don't get yourself in that situation. So what's the answer to the question? I don't know that there is one. This is a risk that you take being in this industry. Now, you are not allowed, a contractor is not allowed to talk about policy information with the client. They're not allowed to start reading policy information. To be honest with you, you probably won't know what you're reading, even if you attempt to read it. That is illegal. In order to start talking about policy language, giving policy advice, you have to be a public adjuster. Okay, so number one, you're committing a crime if you try to do that. And number two, to be honest with you, I went through a lot of training to become a public adjuster. You're probably not going to know what to look for any darn way. So really, one of the things that I do in building relationships is, policy reviews is a free service that I offer, okay? And so as a contractor, let's say you see a house that has missing shingles, bring me in, call me up. A policy review for me is free. And so I would go in there, I would advise that client, I would look at that situation, and if I see the actual cash value, I'm going to tell the client, I'm telling you, this is something that you're going to have to pay more than your deductible for. I'm going to set the contractor up with the correct information so you don't get in this uncomfortable situation. So it's really a pretty good system, guys. You bring me in, I make sure I keep you out of those bad situations, because in business, believe me, it only takes a handful of unfortunate things that happen to you in a short period of time that can create some serious financial problems for you guys. So when I develop these relationships, I come in, I advise the client, I look at their insurance, I make sure that it's correct, I help you guys with the estimate, I help you recoup all the money, I do all the insurance stuff. You be a contractor, you be a roofer, let me be the insurance expert. Don't get yourself in this position, okay, as a contractor. How do you know if the client has ACV or RCV, or if they have law and ordinance, or what their deductible is, or all these things? So it's important stuff to know. And now I'm kind of catering to a contractor on this level. Homeowners, it's very important for you to know this stuff too. It's possible that, depending on the scenario, replacement cost benefit is often something you can change. So if you have ACV on that policy, there are ways to change that policy to make it RCV. It might be something you're interested in doing. If you're going to pay that bill every month, you might as well have good insurance. Same thing with the law and ordinance, the deductible, all things I can guide you and help you with. That's all I have for today. I hope you guys found this video to be very informative. Please go to my YouTube page and search Making Claims Great Again. Give me a like if you thought this video was informative. Please subscribe to my page. Leave me comments or send me an email if there are any other topics that you guys would like me to talk about. I would love to. To be honest with you, this has been very rewarding for me. I want to see you guys succeed. Homeowners, I want to make your lives a little bit simpler. Contractors, I want you to do good. So if there's anything I can do to help you guys be more successful, leave me a comment, send me an email. Rob Kolb, your Toledo area public adjuster, making claims great again, making your life great again. I love you guys. Have a good one. Bye.